one to see on VP4TV. He's wild and he's free. Eyeball top number here to you and me. With his cunning moves, he's rocking endlessly. Tables and cues, they bend to his will. Every shot he takes gives everyone a thrill. With a glance and aim, he works to the skill. In the ball, like from the chill. Tables and cues, they bend to his will. Every shot he takes gives everyone a thrill. With a glance and aim, he works to the skill. In the ball, like from the chill. Tactical genius with every play, making magic happen every single day. In the world of billiards, he knows the way, taking every shot with prayers we say. Rack him up, he steps to the ground. Crowds gather round without a sound. With a twisted stroke, his fame is profound. Every victory makes our hearts pound. From the corner bank to the perfect cut, he wins the game without a single strut. Chalk it up, just a fortune of luck. But skill like his, it never gets stuck. On VP4TV, he's the showstopper. 9ball.com's the king, no one can top her. Watch him play and you'll be a hopper. He's the man, we all shout proper. Tactical genius with every play, making magic happen every single day. In the world of billiards, he knows the way, taking every shot with prayers we say. Rack him up, he steps to the ground. Crowds gather round without a sound. With a twisted stroke, his fame is profound. Every victory makes our hearts pound. Rack him up, he steps to the ground. Crowds gather round without a sound. With a twisted stroke, his fame is profound. Every victory makes our hearts pound. Rack him up, he steps to the ground. Crowds gather round without a sound. With a twisted stroke, his fame is profound. Every victory makes our hearts pound. To the perfect cut, he wins the game without a single strut. Chalk it up, just a fortune of luck. But skill like his, it never gets stuck. On VP4TV, he's the showstopper. 9ball.com's the king, no one can top her. Watch him play and you'll be a hopper. He's the man, we all shout proper. ATG from Kilmarnock town, got your hustle down. Streams the pool games live, makes our day come alive. Early mornings on your grind, Tesco shift unwind, but you find the time to play, stream the virtual day. OTG tactical genius, every game you bring us with your skill and your flair. We're glad you're always there. Virtual cue in your hand.
And it's a sucker scratch. Look at the lights. Commentator's eye. Don't say I didn't warn you.
OTG tactical genius, every game you bring us with your skill and your flair. We're glad you're always there. Virtual cue in your hand, amazing shots you land. From your home to our screens, living out our pool dreams. Early riser, work all done, streams the games just for fun. We'll cheer for you every match. TG, you've got the magic touch. OTG tactical genius, every game you bring us with your skill and your flair. We're glad you're always there. OTG tactical genius, every game you bring us with your skill and your flair. We're glad you're always there.
This for the 101. Absolutely sensational once again.
Virtual cue in your hand, amazing shots you land. From your home to our screens, living out our pool dreams. Just for fun, we'll cheer for you every match. TG, you've got the magic touch. OTG tactical genius, every game you bring us with your skill and your flair. We're glad you're always there.
That was fantastic.
Where's the cue ball going?
Oh dear, outside, never mind.
No bar, no pinball machines, no bowling alleys, just pool. Nothing else.
Well, good afternoon, folks. Welcome back to VP4TV. We have a one-loss side match scheduled for the top of the hour in the 8-Ball World Championships between Bankster, representing Kuwait, and Acero, representing Japan, neither of whom are here. Now, we do know that Acero turns up at the last minute. Bankster's going to have to do that as well because there's no sign of him in the lobby at all. So that's what we've got to look forward to. Either we'll have a match or we won't have a match. And the winner of this match will be waiting. In fact, Balls is waiting to play the winner of this match on that top half of the bracket on the one-loss side. We've also got the one-loss side match with One Pocket Slim and Cold as Pillow. That's tomorrow afternoon at 2 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. And Larry's already sitting there waiting to play the winner of that match as well. Obviously, at this time of day, that's like 9 a.m. in the morning, East Coast time. Steve, although he's present in the lobby, and the fact that the super admin is there, he's not contacted me, and he may well be at breakfast, or he may well still be in bed. But I'll do one quick check. So I would assume that he's not around and going to be joining me for this match. So, according to Spudboy, Bankster's been put through with a coin toss to play this match. Spudboy was having problems trying to get Bankster to agree a time. And in the end, to cut a long story short, Spudboy was the one that ended up getting forfeited, and Bankster got advanced to play Acero. That's how we've got to this point. Spudboy fancying his chances after having a very good performance in his previous match. Well, the time is just knocking on the door of the top of the hour. And looking at the lobby, there is no sign of either player, so this could be short and sweet. If one of them shows up and the room goes up, they're going to have to go in it and sit and wait for 10 minutes to see if the other player is going to show up, and if not, then the room will time out, and the player that is present in the room will be advanced, which is a bit of a sickener also for Spudboy. And if neither of the two of them show up today, it'll be a coin toss again to see who goes through to the next round, which could possibly mean that Bankster ends up going through to the next round, not having played 2 matches to get there, which would be a wee bit of an injustice. But we will see. And that definitely is. It has gone the top of the hour. Well, it's just gone the top of the hour. Now 3 o'clock Greenwich Mean Time. And we wait and see. I've not missed anybody arriving. Nope, definitely nobody arrived. And no doubt the room will have gone up, which it has done. I'm just going to quickly close down Discord. And I'll probably be quickly closing down this live stream. The room's definitely up. We're a minute past the hour. Acero has arrived. So he's going to have to sit in the room. And Bankster may or may not show, which is a bit annoying, but he's still got time to get here. Acero has gone into the room. One loss side is a race to 9, so they don't take long, these matches. And looking back at Acero, that last match that Acero played against Stubb, I think Acero won it 9-3 or something like that. Stubb ended up forfeiting again, and he well, not forfeiting, he ended up running out the room before Acero could finish the match. So, but Acero had a very solid performance against Stubb, and that's good enough to beat Stubb, because Stubb does his usual stuff, starts banging at balls, trying to break stuff out, not really all that controlled. And when you come up against a half-decent player who's pretty solid, that's a tough ask when you're not doing the right things a lot of the time, and the other guy's doing the right things and also capitalising on your mistakes. It's a wee bit humiliating for Stubb, but that's the way it'll be unless he changes his ways. But he needs a lot more table time as well, Stubb. That's another part of the problem. He doesn't get anywhere near the table time now. Well, this really will be annoying for Spud Boy if Bankster's a no-show today. I've got an awful feeling this ain't going to happen. What time is it? We're now 3 minutes past the hour, so he has another 7 minutes to show up. Bearing in mind also, if Bankster's location is correct according to his flag, then that would mean that he does live in Kuwait, which means that Kuwait is at least 3 hours in front of me. So it's like, middle of the evening his time. It's about probably 8:05, something like that. 9:05 at a push, but I think Kuwait's at least just 3 hours in front of me. I'd be surprised if it's much more than that. So it's not as if it's a weird time. And a bit annoying that if you know you can't make it, the decent thing to do is just to send a message through the VP4 internal browser to your opponent and tell them. I always think it's pretty ignorant that, if something crops up, there's nothing that's going to prevent you from sending a quick message. Ah, right, he's arrived. Well, we do have a match on then. That's at least going to give us something to watch. So let's get in. There we go. We've got Acero on the right-hand side, whose queue seems to have locked up. There we go. We have Bankster on the left. Lag for the break. And you would say that Acero is definitely the strong favourite for this. But Bankster's got a wee bit more control about his game than Stubb has. But on the technical side of it, He's probably going to have to up his cue ball control to find his way out more often than not if he's going to actually cause an upset here and take acero down. So we will see. And these balls are sitting fairly inviting. If we look at the solids straight away, there's one at this end of the table, but all the other solids are all on the outside, if you know what I mean. They're all sort of out surrounding these three stripes. So the good thing about that is there's all these solids are all available to all of these pockets here, plus the 8 balls handy. So this is an excellent table to get out on now. So acero's gone solids. The only issue, and that's the major issue there. Now, why did he not take that 2 ball when he was on it? That's the bit that's puzzling me. I thought he was going to shoot that 2 ball there. But this is, of course, the problem. This 3 ball, the 5 ball obviously needs to be cleared for that 3 ball to go. But the 3 ball also goes into this corner past the 13. So that's the one he has to really worry about. He's going to have to worry about this, the fact that he never actually played it. And I would have been inclined to go for that 2 ball first and get that done with, because then now it's in the back of your mind that you have to get back down for this 2 ball. And again, he's played the bank because he doesn't want the cue ball to leak away too far. Oh, well, I'm not sure what he did there, but if he did genuinely attempt to play the bank, then he's forgot to hit the ball. So something strange happened there with acero. That was like a Larry trackball mistake there. And it's given Bankster a free go. And where Bankster is right now is going to be the best chance he's got on that 9 ball to slide this down the rail and get rid of it. And he hasn't done it. Cut it away from the rail. And his chance is probably gone. And that's where you maybe just got to get a wee bit more care and attention to that shot there before he committed. And he could have punished acero there, but didn't do it. But now the corner pocket top left is clear for the 3 ball. And again, trying to hold the cue ball there because the potting angle he had in that ball there, the cue ball wants to leak away. And this is far from guaranteed that acero's going to get out here because he's not in line at all. And he may well be forced to play in this 7 ball where he's cued over the 3. He's got to avoid traffic, get this cue ball down onto the 2. And everything went wrong there. He ran into a ball. He did get on the 2, but he's missed the 7. Now, I'll tell you something. Bankster has got to find a way to get behind those 2 balls up top like that. I think he's overhit that a wee bit. He's overhit it. He wanted to be able, well, he can certainly take the 12 into the side. And he's going to bump the 14. He's really got to get rid of these 2 balls now, if he can. And he's missed the 12 into the side. So there's a golden opportunity for Bankster the second opportunity he's had, and a second one that's gone south. So he's going to probably pay for that in the long run. When we think back to how this first rack has gone, Bankster's had two genuine opportunities to pinch the rack off Acero's mistakes, and he hasn't been able to do it. And that's what you can't do deeper into the tournament. You cannot be letting your opponent off, especially when you're the underdog. You're not the favourite, and suddenly you get scared of actually beating the guy. And again, a lot higher angle in this too than he would really like. So again, he's just got to find a gap somewhere to be able to cut that 8-ball. I don't think it's rock solid to the rail. There's a decent enough gap. He's just got to be careful, because if he gets too cute here, there's enough traffic to find your way behind a ball here. He doesn't really want to skirt away up the table too much. Well, he's trying to get to the rail. That's very well done. But the 9-ball is still going to hamper him, I think. Yeah. Well, now a chance again, possibly a third chance here for Bankster to pinch this rack. He's going to have to try and kick it in. Well, that's gone too straight. Would you believe Bankster getting a third chance to win this rack? I don't think he can believe it himself, but I'll tell you something. He's still got these balls to clear out here, and needs to get on that 12-ball, which he has done. He could nick that 12-ball in, come around the corner behind the 15, and either the 15 or the 11 into the side. Well, he's taking the 15. See, that's a mistake. That's a mistake. In fact, he just barely got on the 12. Why he didn't take the 12 and just run around the corner he was on, either of the two of them. So there's a third, even better opportunity than the two that he's had before, and he's blown all of them. That's going to come back to haunt him big time. That's really quite poor, to be honest with you. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I'm getting out this time. And he got lucky there that he ended up hooking acero. So here we go again. 4 opportunities to get out, which is quite incredible. That's what he should have done in the first place. Take that 12 into the side, a couple of rails around the corner and back out into the table. He would have been out by now. He would have been into rack 2. Now he just needs to pot the 14, go forward, come off the rail, and back up into the table for the 15. Ideally, he wants to leave it a wee bit short. That's perfect, because he can just nip back and play the 8 into the corner. Unbelievable that he's had 4 goes at winning this first rack. When would acero ever give? I mean, acero was never doing that against Stubb. He was never giving the opponent 4 chances to find a way out, but it's pretty poor that, unbelievable, he's rattled the 8. Would you credit it? What a disaster this has been, a complete and utter disaster for Bankster, this first rack. I mean, that is awful. What a start. Welcome to Hazard. Have you caught any of this first rack, by the way? What an absolute mess. That, I mean, I can't believe he had that many chances. And then to top it all off, he rattles the 8-ball in the corner. hangs it up for acero. Well, that's the weirdest rack I've seen in the whole tournament. But anyway, regardless of what's happened, acero can't believe that he's 1-0 up. And acero broke rack number 2. The break was dry as usual. Bankster had a go at a pot, missed it. And, well, this table's not quite as inviting. You've got 2 solids blocking a path for the 2 stripes in that direction. And down this end of the table, you've got the 2 solids. But every stripe is in virtually the top half of the table as we look. The only one that's just beyond that halfway line is the 11 ball, but everything else is up here. Yeah, I've got it. You have to. When I first downloaded it, you have to tell. It has to think that you've got an American language keyboard, or it won't. The download won't work. So I did that, and I downloaded it, and I've been using that for months. It's only available in the States for some strange reason. I don't know why. Unless they're just sort of, well, I mean, it is in theory in beta test, so they're probably just keeping it in beta test over there. But I mean, as long as you know the workaround, you can download it. The other thing to download is WinToys if you don't already have it. You can go to Microsoft or just Google WinToys, download it, because that's another thing for managing files and stuff and crap. It's quite a handy tool. I've got that installed. The PC Manager and WinToys, WinToys. That's another free download, and there's handy stuff on it for doing general maintenance in your PC. Well, there's another one to get, WinToys. Go download that. So anyway, we're into rack number 2. Acero on the solids. And that 3 and 7 ball are just a bit awkward to get to because of the balls that are below it as we look. And as a matter of fact, acero just decided to play a sort of safety. And I think the one thing I would say about Bankster here, this is a mistake. That's a mistake. You see, he's walked right into the trap there. He's done acero a huge favour by opening up those 2 balls. Now, obviously, Bankster wants to try and win the rack, but Bankster should have played for time there. He's just actually allowed acero access to that 3 and 7 ball, which at the time with those 2 stripes there, it was causing a problem for access to get to those 2 balls, and Bankster hasn't seen the error of his ways. He's about to find out, though. And that's a huge mistake, in my opinion. You should never have moved. I would never have moved those 2 balls. I would have. Obviously, he was trying to, either get a pot to open up the table for himself, but I don't think that was the right time to make that move. And the end result is he's more than likely going to lose the rack because of it. And that just shows you where you've got to use your head. And it was a pretty gullible shot he's just played there. This is a bit dodgy also because is that the one ball that acero's on up there? Yes, you see he's got a lot more angle than he wants on this one ball. He would have liked the cue ball to have been near that 10 or 12 ball, whatever ball it is over the top right there, to sort of flatten out the potting angle in that one ball. Now he's got the cue ball running now. It needs to keep running. And that's perfect. So all that as an end result of Bankster breaking up the two balls that were giving him some sort of protection there for a minute. And what did he do? He opened him up, opened the table up, gave acero access to his two problem balls, and he loses a rack because of it. Pretty naive Bankster, I have to say. I mean, you're a hero if you'd potted one of your balls and you went on to win the rack, but that was never going to happen. So 2-0 to acero. Bankster breaks off in rack number 3, and of course, like many before, it's a dry break. And this time we've got 2 stripes in the bottom half of the table. One's solid. Solids on the left, the 2 ball, 5 ball, 4 ball in the middle of the table. 3 ball and 6 ball are available, but the 1 ball that's a problem is the actual 1 ball. That one there, because it's got no path to a pocket up at this end of the table, and again it's in a tight area to get into that 1 ball to get a hold of it. Now, if he pots the 2 right now and does that, he's getting rid of his problem ball immediately. The other good news is the 8 ball goes into the corner here. So that 8 ball passes into that top left-hand corner. And if he plays this 6 ball and comes out of there clean and avoids the 3, he can leave the 3 as his last ball. That would let him get to that 8 ball no problem. He could do that. That's definitely possible. Well, he's got the 5 into the side. If he can 5 into the side, he's the wrong angle in the 5. He wants to get to the 7. He's the wrong angle in the 4. He can just roll forward, and he's going to leave a bit of a cut on that 7 ball if that's all he's going to do. But it's a bit risky to do anything else. He could go forward and try and cut across, which is what he's doing. He's got right English on it to spin it across, and that's well played. So now the critical shot here is the angle that he's going to have on this 3 ball will determine how easy it is to get on the 8. If he doesn't hook himself behind the 9, that is. Oh dear. Well, if I'm acero, I'm not really sweating at this because judging by that first effort in the first rack from Bankster, has Bankster got any game to actually take this table out? Oh, welcome to Spud Boy. Well, acero lining up an attempt to jump here. No, he's just decided to play a deliberate foul. I think he's just set up a combo. I'm going to have to mute myself because I think I've got a sneeze coming on. And I did get a sneeze. There's nothing worse than feeling a sneeze coming on and then it runs away from you. So not a very good deliberate foul there from acero, because all he's done is pushed on a combo up top, I think. I mean, that's pretty rock solid for a combo, isn't it? But like I said earlier there, you know, acero may well be thinking Bankster can't get out here. And this is also what I said just prior to the match. You know, is Bankster going to be good enough with his cue ball to find his way out on these tables against acero? Well, he had 4 attempts to win the first rack, never got it done. He's biding his time here. And he may well get another go. And this time the balls are all favourable in the sense that they've all got pockets. This is far from easy to actually get a kick at this 3-ball. He's having to go 3 rails. Well, it's good he got a hit and he got a rail. So no foul. And no ball in hand. So, well, he wants, again, he's got a dodgy cut in this ball in the rail. And the cue balls want to cut across. And he doesn't want to run into anything here playing this. I think he's gone too straight in the 14 as well. He's gone far too straight. He would want to... You see, now he's in a bit of a dilemma here because of the line that he's got in the 14. Far too straight. Let's have a look. You see, that's no good. That means that he's either going to have to stay up there and leave this cut in the 13. Oh, he's not gone far enough. I'm surprised acero's done that. Oh, tell a lie. He's on the... my bad. My bad. He's on the solids. What am I talking about? I haven't had my afternoon nap. That's my excuse. Well, now Bankster's got a perfect angle in this 11 to come down into the table. Go onto that 13 ball. This is just a stopper. Couldn't be any easier than this to win. Eventually got off the mark here. So into rack number 4, Bankster break, acero breaking, my bad. And ball has gone, which might have been the 8 ball. Which shall come back up in its spot. Or was it the 8 ball? Yes, it was. The acero. Well, you've got the 4 solids in the bottom end of the table here where the cue ball is. You've got a 4 ball that is available top left. And the only one that's a slight issue is the 6 ball. And you have the 2 ball in there as well. So this end of the table, you've only one choice for a stripe, which is the 13, which is sitting right there. So he's going to go solids and really should be dealing with everything down at this end, first of all. And then he has to worry about whether he's going to play that 4. I don't think he wants to play the 4 ball first. He really has to get out into the table and try and deal with that 6 ball and 2 ball. But if he's going to pot the 4, he really doesn't want to interfere with the 9 ball, because then you don't really know where the cue ball's ending up. Now the angle on the 7 is handy. This is handy. If you can just come up into that gap, that looks a good enough pace. And the angle he's got in the 6 ball is actually perfect. He could just nip. Now, this is where he has to play a really good shot here. If he's going to nip back, he's got to get the control right. And that's perfect. That is perfect. He can just nip the 4 in, drop the cue ball out for the 2. And this is what I'm talking about, you know, a player where they can execute the shot confidently. You know, that little spot that Acero was in there, that was tricky, just to be confident enough to judge your control of the shot by playing that little stun draw. You know, you're hitting it harder, but you're hitting the cue ball just below the equator, and you're getting enough purchase in the cue ball just to get into that little gap. The stun draw is a much more controllable way to judge how much the cue ball's coming back. And this was a very good out. I mean, all the balls were there, but you had to deal with the couple of problem balls, and he's done that, no problem. So he's warmed up now, Acero, with that rack. That was an excellent example of how to get out on a table where a player of Acero's level really should be getting out, because there's only 1 or 2 little technical things he had to do there, and he accomplished them with flying colours and has a 3-1 lead. And of course, what Bankster doesn't want when he's just gone 3-1 down and then it says break, he doesn't want a dry break, but that's what he's got. Now, left side of the table, you've got a stripe and a solid sort of married up. That I think is maybe the 10 ball and the 3 ball. Acero plays the bank, bumps into the problem situation, frees up his 10 ball. Let's have a quick look. The 15 he's on. If he gets this, which he hasn't, he's overcut it. If he got that there, he was well on to winning this rack. But now Bankster's got to let Acero know that he is here to take on situations like this and get out, because there's no excuse for not getting out here. Everything's available. It is all about the cue ball now. He wants to be thinking about that 1 ball fairly quickly, because the 1 ball is an issue where it's sitting. Yes, if you pot the 6 ball up top, you can get to the 1 ball from there, but he's got a perfect angle on the 7 to drop across and take this 1 ball up table. He doesn't want to leave it hanging there. Well, now I'm not sure what he played for. If I give him the benefit of the doubt, he's played for the 6 ball. So in that case, then I would assume he's going to play the 1 ball next. And he's not really stroked that properly, that shot there. What he's actually done, he's dragged the pace off the cue ball, but he's not delivered the actual cue stick through the cue ball. He used to hit that harder, and it's just sort of dragged on and rolled through. So now he's got rid of that 1 ball. It's all to do with the angle in the 3 ball, and the angle in the 3 ball is it's workable. He can just roll this 3 in, drop through for the 4, and he doesn't need to overhit this. He's just got to dink this through. And I get unbelievable. He's rattled it in the jaws again. He's rattled it in the jaws and it's hung up. And Acero using his head, plays a little billiard on his ball, gets rid of the blocking ball and hooks Bankster on his 4-ball. So Acero, odds-on favourite here to widen this gap in a minute. Well, that was actually a nothing shot there from Bankster. That's not doing anybody any good. Absolutely no shot at all. He was trying to roll a ball and lock up a couple of balls, but there's nothing else locked up, which means that Acero was always going to have ball in hand and deal with that situation easy enough. So Acero now has another little exercise in how to get out. Now, it'll be interesting to see what ball he's going to keep for his last ball. Obviously, we'll get the 12 ball on the right-hand side. You've got that 15 ball up on that left-hand side. The only other worry would be that the 4 ball's an interference in that left-hand side. So you'd really have to think that it would be the 10 ball he's going to use to get to that 8 ball. And he has to get out, which he's done now, and he can get rid of the 15 ball, and he can nip back down below here so he can get rid of the 9, or just play it into the bottom corner and nip across for that 12. And again, if he gets the perfect angle in the 12, all he's doing is dropping the 12 in and rolling through for the 8. So he's left us short a wee bit. So now he maybe want to just go forward with a wee bit of left English here, just to tweak the cue ball a bit. Just like that. But again, Acero's more than good enough to deal with what was an open table. And Bankster had to come up with something better than what he did, because he's now 4-1 behind. Now, into rack number 6. Bankster needing big favours here. And something has dropped. Couple of solids next to the cue ball, not going anywhere fast. So I think there's no prizes for guessing what the favourite is here. It's got to be Stripes. I mean, you've got Stripes all in the open, all available, all with pockets. And it really should be 5-1 by the end of this visit here for Acero. It's got to be. So if he's going to take the 15, it looks as if he's digging in to draw back. And just holding the cue ball. Got to get rid of that 14 ball. It's a blocker unless he's intended to play the 10 into the side. But the 14 is just a bit of a hindrance where it's sitting. But there's enough room to get to it and deal with it, which he can now. Well, he's still not dealt with it, but he's still sitting good. The angle he has in the 13 is perfect. He can just spin across the left-hand side, go 2 rails, and have the 8 ball into the side. And again, Acero's control of the pace of the cue ball is perfect. And 5-1 is a hefty lead when it's only a race to 9. And things are going to have to start happening here for Bankster. Once again, it's dry though. Acero. Well, he's got 11 ball he can cut into the side. He's got the 6 ball he can cut into this bottom right-hand corner. So if he went for the solids, you look up top, you've got a 2 ball that isn't really going anywhere if you plump for solids. If you're going stripes, you've got a whole stack of them here that you can pick your way through. The problem is you need a good starter on one of these stripes, and he's not really sitting great. I mean, I don't know whether he can nip that 14 down the rail and come off the point. Well, he's going to play solids. I'm definitely not keen in the solids, if only because if I get rid of that, you've got all of these balls here that you can get rid of. So the big test is getting on to 2, and he's on it. Would you believe it? He's found a way on it, immediately dealing with the problem, and that's excellent. And that was the only ball when when you've made your mind up to take the solids, it was the only ball that was going to be the issue. How's that 7 ball sitting though? He's fine. So, he's thinking, well, if I get that 2 ball out of there, everything else should be straightforward. And look at what he's got. Again, he's just he's sitting too high an angle to cut the 1. So he's going to take the 5, get a shallower angle on the 1 like that. That's a bit more controllable. He can just drag the pace off this 1 ball, or he can, if he wants to make sure he's stroking it, he can nip across, but he can kill it just like that. Well, I don't think there's much of a game on here, cold as pillow. I think this game's pretty much over. But, Acero's showing that he is a tough cookie in this this game. He pretty much does everything very solid. He's got good control of the cue ball, good pace control. And that's always an advantage in finding your way through the gaps and running out. And the lead is 6-1. This looks as another dry one this time from Acero. I didn't hear anything go down. And also, it's a table that is really, really inviting. Look at it. There's gaps between all the balls, so they can all be accessed. So the only concern here is he has to deal with that 12. If he's taking the 14, he needs to get on to that 12 ball. I think he's overcooked that, has he? Has he overcooked it? No, he hasn't. I think he can get there. Because obviously the 12 ball's not comfortably going past the 1. I mean, there is room, but it's the one he had to get out of the way fast. Now, the other one he has to deal with is this 11 and get rid of the 13. Because you don't want to really leave that 13 as the ball that you're going to play to get on the 8 ball, because you've still got business to do up top. And how accessible is that 15 ball as well? That might be slight, but it's a bit tight, that 15. He needs to be careful here. You see, he's still got the 15, obviously, and he's still got the 9. It always worries me when you leave a problem ball and you're beginning to leave it too long. So it then hinges on you getting really good on that penultimate ball. He's ended up dead straight. And he's got to be careful how he rolls forward here, because he has to go far enough to get the 13, but not too far that he's going to scratch. And I think he's just got there and no more. So he's going to go forward around the corner now. Well, that's a better visit for Bankster, albeit it's probably just another consolation rack that he's getting. Welcome to Run Out, Rob. We won't be here long. I'm pretty certain this is going to be over sooner rather than later. But that's a bit of a bonus for Bankster, because that was on Acero's break. And of course, Bankster returns the favour, absolutely bone dry. Now this time, we've got a whole stack of solids all bunched and blocking one another in that corner. You've got one married up with a 15. So it's a bit of a mess up there. You've got the isolated 4 ball down here, but that's the least of your worries. You've not got you've got a cut in the 11 and you're running into the 14 to get you started if you're going to go stripes. If you're going to play the 1 ball, it's a bit tight to squeeze it past the 5. If you're going to play any of these, you've got dodgy combos to get you started. So this is not the most inviting table. Well, he doesn't like the look of any of them. Well, he's actually called a pocket yet for this 4 ball. If I missed it, no, he's presumably just playing a safety shot. Yeah, he doesn't like his options up top. And, you know, that's left Bankster hindered with this 4 ball. He's going to try and cut this 10 in, I think. He's looking at that, but there's certainly nothing here that's would be enjoyable to play. They're all ugly. And that 4 ball is just annoying where he's been placed. Actually, cute. Yeah, he's calling a pocket, but he's just probably going to roll onto it or try and roll onto it. Maybe he did play it to pot it, but I'll tell you what, it could have finished worse than this. That's not a bad result. Yes, he's left a pot on, but, you know, it gets you on the solids, but then you've got all of this problem here that's not exactly easy to get into. I think neither of them are keen on these solids the way they're sitting. But sooner or later, you've got to get something in a hole. So Acero, first one to really commit. He's got that. Man, would you believe it? Look, he's done. I mean, he's took a big chunk out of that 1 ball. So he did, not the 1 ball, was it a 3 ball? Or the 5? It was a 5 ball, but it still went into the hole. And I don't know that, well, the 2 ball certainly goes. Problem is, he's got no shot. That's the problem. Well, again, he's done the right thing. that 6 ball was never going to be any good where it was stuck. So now it puts the pressure on Bankster. Acero opens up his 6 ball. The 6 ball's now widely available. And the pressure on Bankster trying to deal with a problem which he hasn't dealt with, and if anything, he's actually made it worse. He's got his stripe tied up with the 2, and he's having another go at trying to break it. So now acero comes to the table, and with that banging and drawing and whatever that Bankster was doing, he's now created a problem for acero's 6 ball. And you've now got the 2 and the 5 sort of married up, and he's far too straight in the 3, I think, because he would like an angle on this 3 so that he could just nudge into them and loosen it up and make them portable. He doesn't really get any great benefit from dropping the 7 into the side, because then he would have an angle in the 3 where he's coming. Well, he could come over this side and try and drop into the gap for the 6 or nudge it out. So there's work to do for acero here. I mean, I don't know whether he can pot the 3 and go forward. I mean, he could go forward on this 3 ball and check the cue ball. If he hits it too hard, he won't get this thing to work. But I think if he pots this and checks it up, he might get a nudge. It's a touch and go, I think. And in the end, I'm not sure whether he's committed to doing any of that yet. Now, you see what I said earlier there about dropping the 7 into the side. The angle he's got in the 3 is no good for the 5 and the 2, but it's good for the 6. If he wants to take a risky shot and try and nudge over to the 6. But I think the problem is that if it gets too tight in that corner, he's going to run into the 12. Well, that's neither here nor there now, where he's finished. Whether he can get in. He can't get in there to get enough of that 5 ball, I don't think. And the 6 ball's not doing anything past that 9, so Bankster better get on his toes here, because Bankster's going to have an issue as well if he gets back to the table. You've got the 13 ball blocked by the 2 and 5, so the 13 ball's the one that's dodgy to get to, but he's got these 3 balls here that would allow him to get to that 13. The question is whether he's good enough. Well, he's on it. He's on it. He's got to be careful with the cue ball here, because he wants to get rid of the 10. And he's on it as well. And again, come out of there clean. He doesn't want to run into the 12. Well, he doesn't want to underhit this, because he wants to have a good shot in this 12 and a decent enough angle, and that's decent enough. That can get the cue ball out into the middle of the table, or he can just drop behind the 8 ball and play it long into the corner. But we've seen Bankster miss a couple of balls that he's rolled into corners from distance, and they've both hung up. I think he'd much rather be sort of square on this and cutting this into the side. He could have done with getting the cue ball down a wee bit closer, shallower, make the angle a bit shallower. But in it goes. So he's got 3 in the board now, but needs a lot of help. And it needs to start with acero having a dry break. Well, he's got a ball. He's definitely got a ball. But look at the danger down at this bottom left-hand corner here. We've got all sorts can happen down this end of the table. That 8 ball is dangerously close to the pocket. And all kinds of disasters may be about to happen down here. Now, if you take the stripes and you look at the 14, the one good thing about that 14 is that you can bump it into the rail and slide it in off the back of that 8 ball and clear the 8 ball from the pocket a wee bit. Now, the question is what has acero got as a starter? Well, he could cut the 10 into the side. He's got 3 stripes up here, and he knows he can get to the 14. So the cutting of the 10 ball, the worry he has is that he's going to run into something. Now, has he called the bank into the side with this 9 ball? That's a great shot. That is an excellent shot. I mean, he could have just run that 10 ball into the side there and let the cue ball run loose, but he's actually bit the bullet there and grown a pair and played the bank in the 9, and now he can immediately deal with this issue up top with the 14 ball, where he can nip it in off the back of that 8. He doesn't want to try and pot this clean, because I don't think it will pot clean. It's far too tight. He's got to nip it. Well, he has potted it clean. Unbelievable. I would have thought he'd have been playing to get a nudge off that. He might have been playing that himself. I'm not sure. But anyway, that 8 ball is still available now, provided he's on either of these two where he's rolling in to roll down onto the rail and get out. I would have thought he would have just tried to nudge it. Well, bear in mind, now that he's chosen the stripes and banked that 9, he doesn't really need to move anything, but it all hinges on what he leaves as his last ball. And he's already out of line here. He's already in trouble. And this is a dodgy cut in the 13. And it was obviously one of these two that he was wanting to leave to get to this 8 ball, but he's already in plan B. He went into the far jaw. It's gone in though. But again, he's run into one of his balls. Run into the 10. Again, a dodgy cut in the 12. And I think he's going to have to go 2 rails here. He's going to have to fire this in, come 2 rails to get back out for that 10. And he's overcut the 12 doing it. So now the fact that acero didn't need to move the 8 ball, that means that Bankster is the one with the headache. And now might be a good time, if he can, to play a half-decent safety. He called the bank in the 5. I never noticed that there. I just caught a glimpse of it. He called the bank in the 5. I thought he was going to try and duck, but anyway, he's not left anything simple on. Yes, he can back cut the 10. Cue balls going to run into something by the look of it. You'd really obviously try to go 2-3 rails to come out of there if you're trying to cut that 10 ball. Well, this is a toughie, if that's what he's doing. Well, he's digging deep. He looks as if he's trying to... See, the thing is, he was always going to run into something there. He's caught the two, missed the pot. And Bankster... Well, he's got to work out how he's going to deal with this 4-ball. That's one way to deal with it. He's kicked it out of there. And acero has got 2 stripes up table, neither of whom have a pocket to go at, I don't think. That 12 ball's well past the side pocket. Now, he could, as long as he misses a double kiss, he can call this as a bank down into the... No, he can't, because the 5-ball's blocking that pocket. I never even noticed that. Try to sneak in the back door to get control of the pocket. And I think he has. That's worked out. But immediately, acero has dealt with that situation, albeit he's got nothing simple left on this last stripe that he's got. Bankster's got 2 of the pockets guarded by his balls. And, well, acero's got to call a bank somewhere. Is he trying to bump it in off the back of this? Did he call it in off the back of the 8 there? He's trying to get it to the rail. I didn't... Whoa, this is tough. I'm sure he's called it in this pocket. He's going to pot the 8 instead. Well, that's a gift for Bankster. He'll accept that. And suddenly he's just 2 behind. With the break. Well, I thought this match was over. It might not be, folks. Especially if Bankster can get a ball and get started, which I don't think he's going to get. Bankster's breaks deserted him. I don't think... Has Bankster had a ball in the break in this match? I don't think he has. And would you believe it, again, when he comes up with a dry break, he has left a very inviting table for acero. I mean, this is another great opportunity to pick his way through this lot. Probably stripes, by the look of it. Maybe not necessarily, though, because you've got one dodgy stripe you've got to get to. But if you decide you don't want to do that, then if you start in solids, you get the 1 ball, the 6 ball, the 4 ball, and then you can come up here. But there's a dodgy gap to get rid of that 5 ball, because that's an issue. And then those 2 balls go. So, bit of a head scratcher here as to where you commit to. But if you commit to the stripes, bang, 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 they all go. There's not a problem. This is the one that's the slightly dodgy one, because it's right in the middle of the table. And the other one you have is that 10 ball, which I think might go past the 1. I think you can pot that and cheat the pocket if you need to. So there is ways out on this table, but they're not 100% guaranteed. So acero's bit the bullet. He's going for the stripes. The 10 ball, we think, squeezes past the 1 if you cheat the pocket. If you're not prepared to do that, then you have to work out a way to get below this 10 ball. Now, he's slightly the wrong side of the 11. If his intention was to actually pot the 11 and come down here, he's going to have to go forward with left English and check this up big time. Pinch the pocket a wee bit to try and get this cue ball down to here. Yeah, that's very well played. Commentator's eye. And now he should be home and dry. If only the fact is you know, all of his balls that he has to deal with is all up here, and the 8 balls down at this end of the table. So this is fine for potting up the rail, bringing the cue ball across, dealing with the 13 and dealing with these two. He has to find a clean way out of there to get in the 8 ball, though. Now, it all sounds good in your head when you're planning that, but when it comes down to the actual execution of the thing, it all hinges on the angle on these last 2 balls that are up there in the middle of the table. You see, that's now gone too straight. He's going to have to pinch this a bit and try and just pinch it out. He might. I think he's fine. Let me have a look. Now he has to trust his control off that rail, back across here to the kitchen line for the 8 ball. Just overcooked it a touch, but he's fine. But again, it's all about planning your way out, finding that route out, and above all, being confident enough that you can get the job done. And that's where acero's going to, you know, deserve the win in the end, because he is far better at doing that than Bankster has been. I don't think Bankster's really had his cause helped a great deal with his break. His break's not done him any favours. 8 ball has gone in. Table is really ugly. This is really horrible. In fact, if I'm given the option of re-breaking, I think I'd be taking the re-break, because this is crap. Well, he's. I don't know whether can you re-break? Does it give you that option of re-breaking? Who remembers the rules in this damn game when the 8 ball's going in the break? Because I think I would have re-broke if I had that option. Or is it your opponent you put in to break? I don't know. But I certainly, if I had a 3D look at that table, I would not have wanted the table with this setup. Well, he called a 7, played a billiard, ended up potting a stripe as well. But acero now on the solid, so he's certainly got issues he has to deal with. 4 ball goes. Now, is he nipping? I don't know what he's doing. He's going to have to disturb something. Oh, he's got an angle where he can bump something here off this 3 ball. Yeah, that's the one he wants to play right now, because he's on the 6. He's never going to get any better on this 6 ball than he is now. And he'll get a little bump, a little nudge. And that's cleared the 1. Now he has to get another little nudge. And this could go wrong, because he doesn't want to stick the 12 ball where it's coming up and marrying up with the 2. But he has to clear this area here. He has to hit this a fair wee bit, I think, to get things out of there. He doesn't want to nursemaid this. Got to hit it. And he hit it, and that will do very nicely indeed. Okay, he's going to have to, well, he doesn't have to. That 1 will drop into the side. But he's then got to think about his next ball, and his next ball's not so approachable from that angle. And now if he goes to cut it up the table, he's going to run into a ball there, and he'll have a cut in the 2. He's still looking at it in the side, but if he takes it up table, he's going to bump into this 12. He'll have a cut in the 2, and he can get the cue ball up table, hopefully into the gap for the 5. Now, this will work as long as he doesn't come off that 12 ball too thin. Oh, in fact, he might have missed it altogether. That's worked out perfect. That's worked out absolutely perfect. I thought he was going to take a wee chip out of that, but he might have just grazed it and nothing else, but that will do fine. And he should definitely be on the hill here, but he doesn't want to go too close to the 5. See, that gets scary when you start running into a ball when you don't need to run into it. But he's actually come out of it okay, but I would have panicked there myself if that was me playing the shot. But he's going to be on the hill after, what is it, an hour and 10 minutes. The break goes back to Bankster, and Bankster needs miracles now. He was back to within 2 15 minutes ago, but it's all going right against him now, and I think he's dry again also, which doesn't help. Poor Bankster can't buy a ball in the break all afternoon. Right, well, while Acero's working out what he's going to do here, let's have a quick reminder for any latecomers. This match, of course, we have right now. We have the One Pocket Slim Coldest Pillow match tomorrow afternoon. Tomorrow evening. I'll correct myself again. It is tomorrow afternoon. It's 2 p.m. And that'll be on Slim's channel. And we also
Where's
have...
the cue ball going?
Hang on a minute. John Burgos when he's not required. Let's just look at the schedule for the Bankpool World Championships, because we have a match or two. There's 2 in the schedule. You've got the match with Coldest Pillow and Super Admin, and that's at 7 p.m. tomorrow evening. And then at 10 p.m. What day is this? That's tonight, isn't it? Aye, Saturday night. I'm getting myself all confused. It's Sunday for the One Pocket Slim Acero match at 10 p.m, which again will be on Slim's channel. He'll be playing in it and streaming it, no doubt. So we've got the match later on tonight between Super Admin and Coldest Pillow, if it goes ahead, at 7 p.m. Now, these are races to 6 on the winner's side and race to 4 on the one loss side. It's a short rack, so it's a 9-ball rack. It's not a 15-ball rack for this tournament, because you can play a short rack and a long rack in Bankpool. Meanwhile, what's Acero done? I don't know what he's done, because it's still an open table, so he's obviously either played a safety or missed a pot, one of the two. So we didn't really miss much. I'll be back in a second. I'm just going to blow my nose. Right, I'm back. So Acero on the stripes. Bankster at the table. On the solids. Well, obviously the 2 balls in there. How this is going to turn out, we don't know. The 2-ball is now not any better than what it was, coupled with the fact that Bankster trying to duck, he's now scratched. He was trying to nip into the corner there, hit it far too heavy, and he's given Acero ball in hand. And Acero's problem is that 9-ball, which he's going to immediately deal with. The other problem, if he hasn't already checked it, is the fact that the 8-ball isn't going anywhere there. So his chances of running out are not good unless he bumps something out the way here. So he has to study that. And looking at this end of the table, we've got a bailout ball for Acero, the 10-ball over the corner pocket, but he has to do something where he's nudging something out the way. The obvious candidate would be either the 4-ball or the 1-ball that he has to get a hit on. Now, if he ended up half decent on the 14, he can cut the 14 in and bump something out the way and free up the 8-ball. And until he does something like that, his odds in getting out are not great. And meanwhile, Bankster back at the table. We might get a bit of backward and forward here because there's obviously an issue for both players in finding a way out, because both of them have got balls married up with the opponent's ball pretty much. What's that sigh for, Spud Boy? Why are you sighing? Acero having that slow start. What, in the rack? Or are we talking about the match? Well, it may have been a different match when you think about it. If Bankster had taken one of those 4 opportunities he had to win that first rack, it could have been a different ball game altogether. You know, but it's always safe to say that if you can't find your way out with that many opportunities against Acero, Acero's going to settle down. There was a glimmer of hope there for Bankster when he got back to within 2, but that's been snuffed out. And now Bankster has a great chance to get out here. He's got to get off that rail. And now he's got just a little bit of, let me look at the angle he's got here. Yeah, I think that's take your medicine for what it is and just leave the higher cut in the 8-ball. You've got to get this to the hole. This for another consolation rack if we can get it. And in it goes. So, breaking for the match with an 8-5 lead. And Bankster has a mountain to climb. Well, the first bit of good news for Bankster's Acero is dry. The problem is that it's not a straightforward run-out table because of certain issues. If you went for solids, you're not really keen to go in solids because you've got a 1 ball that's blocked. You're really looking at stripes. And with the stripes, you've got this issue here where you have to get on it sooner or later. Now, not really sure what Bankster was trying to do there. Was he trying to leave him some sort of shot and a very, very thin shot into the side? Well, that's what he's trying to do there. And, of course, Acero's 1 ball isn't going anywhere fast that direction. Now, if Acero eventually clears the 4 and the 3, well, he's immediately trying to bump the 1 and get it out of there. He's got a dodgy cut in the 1 he's going to have to take because he's got no other shot. Well, I would have liked to have thought that most people would have took full advantage of the opportunities they had early on against Acero. Bankster didn't, which is why he's on the verge of defeat anyway. But it would have probably changed his whole outlook on the match had he got in, and preferably if he had taken it on his first opportunity that he had. It took him 4 opportunities to try and find a way out, and he still eventually just hung the 8 ball over the corner pocket. And Acero pinches the first rack when he should never have even been back at the table. Well, Acero had a go at the combo there, didn't get it, and now, having committed to do that, this is called Bankster's bluff. He's got a dodgy cut in the 9, which if he gets, he could be out here. Or I should correct myself in saying he would have an attempt to get out. As it is, the complete disaster has happened. He's undercut the 9, has he? And the cue ball has gone loose. He's scratched. And I think it's time for...
Hasta la vista, baby.
I think Arnie said it, because Acero's already plotting his way out here for the match. Ball in hand, on the solids, and there is not a problem with the solids. If only that he has to get rid of that 3 ball and also has to get the cut on that 4 down the rail. He's just trying to come up. I think he may well have been trying to come back up for it, and he's left it short. He's left it short on the 4. He wanted to come up to about there at least so he could comfortably cut that. He can still cut it. It just means that the cue ball's just nipping across the table. He's got a dodgy cut in the 2. And every other ball apart from that there, every other ball is at this end of the table. Oh, this is still tricky, because now that he's committed to the 4 ball, the 6 ball's the one he's going to have to get an angle on to be able to run it down the rail and run this cue ball somewhere over this side to have a sight on that 7 ball, and that's easier said than done. This is far from home and dry right now. Must have the angle. And he's got the angle. But can he come out of there clean? If he's nipping back the way, he has to come through the gap. And he's miscued, would you believe it? What a time to miscue. Well, this is definitely last chance saloon for Bankster. There's no way he was thinking he was coming back to the table, but he's got a chance. He has a chance to stay alive. Well, a big miscue mistake there from Acero. It's probably not going to cost him the match. But nevertheless, you never know how these balls can turn against you. Things can start happening and it starts to get inside your head. He'll be hoping that that's not the case, but believe me, we've seen it happen. all sorts of weird stuff starts happening. When you make a stupid, unforced mistake like a miscue, you never know what's to follow. But Bankster still has to get the job done here. You know, he's still got to find his way out, which he should do with these two balls. That shouldn't be an issue. In fact, he's just got himself a wee bit too straight in this. So he's going to baby it in and finish the short side. Now it's getting a bit sort of 50-50 that he'll get out here. Well, that's fine. It's just a little nip. And he's on 8 into the side. Well, this is a bonus rack. So now he's back to where he was earlier in the match. He's back to within 2. And he's also going to have the break. Oh dear. What the hell's happened there? What the hell's Bankster done there? Well, it didn't come up saying foul, so it wasn't an illegal break. But my God, if you want to call that a soft break, I don't know what a definition of a soft break is if you've never seen one, but that was it. I presume it was intended. It certainly looked weird enough. We've got a proper mess in the middle of the table. But Acero's decided the stripes are the ones for him. He's going to have to start banging a few balls here, though. Oh, so it's a tactical break, is it, Spud Boy? We'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Anyway, Acero on the stripes with an angle in the 9 where he can pot that in the corner here. He doesn't want to hit this too hard. If he hits it too hard, he'll probably miss the hit altogether. He's got to free up this 13 ball, which he's done. That is perfect. And he's got 115 ball that he can't forget about in the middle of the table. Because this is what he was intended to do. Get rid of that. And then be on the 8. But having maybe forgotten about this 15, he's going to have to deal with that. The angle he's got to nip back is perfect. He can nip down. No, he's not hit that. He's overhit it. Oh dear. Well, he's either under-hit it to go to the rail and come out, or he's over-hit it. We're not sure. As it is now, what the hell's happened here? Wait a minute, hang on a minute, bear with us. There we go. I told you how strange things start to happen. And that's a cut. He's got the cut. Is this cue ball coming out for the... Oh, this 4 ball's nudging the 8. Would you believe it? It's nudged the 8 further into play. But he can't get the potting angle in the 8. He hasn't got enough of the 8 ball. I'm telling you, I told you strange things happen, folks. Well, he's going to have to tweak this, but he's going to have to play this perfect and with a pace that would allow him to try and nip that in. He can't do that. I don't think he can. He would have to not only spin this up, but he'd have to spin it up at a pace where he's got enough momentum to chip that 8. It's never going to happen. He's gone multiple rails. And here we go again. Well, are we going to get an extraordinary finish here? Because the 2 ball has to go. He has to get the 3 ball next. Because it's blocked with the 8, of course. And he has to play it into this corner. And Bankster could be back within 1 in the next 2 minutes. What's bullshit in Japanese? I don't know. Well, Bankster, you have to hold your nerve. You have to hold your nerve. Well, I don't think I'd be cutting this into the side from there. I think my nerves wouldn't be able to hold that. He's bailing out in the 5, and now he's in no man's land. He's overhit that. He wanted to be playing the 1 ball next. He can still pot the 1 ball, but he would much rather been staring down the barrel in this 1 ball than cutting it. It's squeaky bum time. So, paramount importance here that he has some sort of angle in this 7 ball to get that cue ball out of there and into the table. Now, preferably just line it onto the rail would do nicely, because that's perfect for just running it off the long rail on the left side and back across. He's gone the other way. That'll work as well. As long as he has the angle, he can get out into the table. But you don't underhit this. You've got to hit this. Even if you finish down in this bottom rail here. See, that's leaving it short. You know, he's chickened out there, Bankster. I mean, you overhit that by a mile and you end up down this in the kitchen like that. You're fine. You don't want this. You should still get it, but you don't want that. You don't want to leave yourself stuff like this. Oh, it wiped its feet. It's gone in. Is that Welsh that you're typing there? Anyway, it's out with Bankster's control here. Acero has the break. But the break is dry. And Bankster is going to have the opportunity here. Again, it's, well, from where he's sitting, his first shot looks like it's going to be a stripe. He's got the 2 stripes in the rail. The 15 ball really has to go, because I don't think he's got any intention of trying to play a combo down that rail. And this is tight, this 10 ball. And it didn't have the legs, but he's got the pocket blocked for the time being. And the other issue, thinking ahead here, is the 8 ball isn't accessible either. Well, this is on a knife edge, this match now. That's how you say bullshit in Japanese. Deterami. That doesn't sound good. I think it's far better just to say, I think if you're Japanese, it sounds probably better to them just to say bullshit. Say it in English than that. That sounds a bit of palaver to be saying that in Japanese. Well, Bankster has had a go at the stripe there. Missed it. Acero. Now, can he get this 3 ball clean? Yes, he can. So Acero can certainly get to the 3 ball if he has, if he gets there eventually. This is his problem here and here. And I don't think Acero will be messing with that 3 ball anytime soon, to be honest with you, because he's got bigger problems to deal with. And of course, the only thing that's a bit of a lifesaver if you're Acero is the fact that Bankster has to get to this 8 ball. And that 8 ball is not readily accessible. I think it will go into the side if you were over here. This is where you need Steve here, because he's typing bullshit in the room. Well, Acero, he might have just committed suicide there, Acero, because he's chosen the 3 ball and missed the 3. He's opened up the 8. And, well, Bankster, this is your chance to take this match all the way. This was over, this match, as far as I was concerned. But Acero's had a complete brain fart there because he had to keep that 8 ball tied up the way it was as a bit of a safety net, but he's gone all out. Tried to pot the 3, missed it. Tried to open up his 5 and 1, never did, never got that done. And we've now got Bankster with a table that he can get out on, and the 8 ball is readily available. Now, has he overhit that, or is he going to check this up on the 9 and try and come inside? Got a bump in the 2. He doesn't want to overdo this. He's got loads of right English in this. He doesn't want to overdo it. Well, he's got it. Now, this is a tricky one because now he can't be trying to baby this in to hold on to the 12. He's got to get out into the table and get onto this 12. And he's got to watch pockets here. Yeah, you see, that's the problem. That is the problem. Now he's got nowhere to duck. It was all hinging and getting out of there. He couldn't go forward because he was running into the 1 and the 5. And now he's called the bank. This is all or nothing. And he's got to watch the cue ball also because he could run into these also. He's got the bank. What a shot. That's why he's called Bankster. And he's got the shot in the 8 to take it all the way. This to go hill when he's been dead and buried twice in this match, Bankster. And then it goes, and I still say that Acero shot himself in the foot there. He shot himself in the foot. He should never have freed up the 8 ball. It wasn't the right time. Well, that's definitely a tactical break there from Bankster. He is, in fact, it's so tactical, it's an illegal break. He didn't get 4 balls to the rail. Now, Acero, I think, can get them re-racked, can't he? I'm pretty certain he can. And now Acero gets to break. So Bankster has lost his break with that foul break. And Acero chooses to break instead. And it's all backfired on Bankster immediately, having got hill. And Acero gets a ball in the break. And where's the cue ball? Well, Acero's... He's got a ball. There's an issue with the 7 and whatever that straight ball is. The 15, there's the issue. So he's going to try and bump them straight away. He's chosen the 14. He's trying to get into this setup here to free up the 15 ball. And it all hinges on this. Oh dear. He's going to have to play a dodgy combo if he's trying to stay at the table because he's got nothing clean. The 15 won't go. He's going to have to call the 13 into the side, and this is a big shot because look at the solids. As soon as he bumps this 15 out the way, he's freed up the 7 ball. He's got to think about what he's doing here. There's nowhere really he's going to duck. Once he commits to this, he's freeing up the 7. If this doesn't go in, and Bankster comes to the table, look at the way these balls are set up. The 8 ball's going to be available unless something comes across to block it. So this is all or nothing here for Acero. He's called safety, but I don't think he's really sure what to do. And I think what he has to do is actually bite the bullet and take on the shot. Because if he's playing a safety, he's still going to free up the 7 ball. And he's going to scratch.
Where's the cue ball going?
No, he isn't. Wow. Now, he's left a bank on for Bankster. The back cut bank on the 5. He's left a dodgy cutback on the 7 to call the 1 ball into the corner. So there are possibilities here. He's left a 6 ball that will cleanly go. So Bankster, this is your opportunity. And he's not hit it. He's not hit it. Hit it into the rail too soon. But of course, he's got everything blocked up this end of the table at the moment. And Acero has got a very fine cut into the side. He's got an even worse cut into that side. He's got no bank on because the 11's blocking the bank. And Bankster at the moment, the way this is sitting, has to be favourite. He's going for the thin cut. He's going all out. And he's bumped his 10 ball out the way, but he's bumped it down into trouble, though. He's bumped it away from trouble into more trouble. Bankster's still got the full control here. He's got to get this to follow in. And I don't think this is sitting too pretty to be following in either. I honestly don't think this is sitting good to follow that in if he's looking at calling the 10. Look at the way the 1's sitting. Well, he's called it. He's got it to work. It's gone in. And he's on the 13. But he's still got one major issue. And of course, this is it. If he gets the 13 and he's got the angle, he's got to drop down and leave this into the side. And he will be home and dry if he gets there. And suddenly, from Bankster being the favourite, he's not getting back to the table. If this works out for Acero, it's going to be all over. He's got to get there, though. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Well, he's decided to stun it. I don't know why he didn't run it forward to get... Even if you get down here onto the rail, you've still got a shot. You've got a far better shot than this. As he called the bank into the side. He hasn't called anything yet, but I'm sure he's got to call the bank. But he's got to get the cue ball out of the way for this bank to work, I think. Yeah, he's having to... You see how the way he's angled this 15 ball trying to find a line. He can't really see whether he's got the line or not. He will have a shot in the 8 ball if this goes in. I've no doubt of that. Or at least he should have. And he's missed the bank. And, well, Bankster, unbelievable that Bankster has a chance here to get out in this table now. From where he was earlier in the match, not being able to take 4 opportunities in the first rack, getting back to 2, within 2 twice, and then this time going hill. And he's went round the 2 ball to nip the 6 in, which he's done. Landed nice in the 3. Well, where can it go wrong? That's what I'm asking. Where can this go wrong? Is he on the 5 right now? He's sort of spoilt for choice here as to what way to go. Well, I'm asking the question, where can it go wrong? It's only going to go wrong with a cue ball mistake. Simple as that. That's the only way this can go wrong. You don't want to be running into the 8 ball. You don't want to be doing that at this angle. I think I'd be avoiding that like the plague. Yeah, get rid of the 5 ball. There's no way you should be touching that 7 ball right now. Because the angle, you don't want to have to try and tweak the cue ball to avoid the 8. Well, he's going for it. Is he going to go forward and around the angles and out into the table? Yes, he is. Well, that's certainly one way of avoiding the 8-ball. And now, if he wants to play this ultra cautious, he can just drop the 5 in. Well, I don't want to leave the 5-ball to get to the 8. I have to say that. These 2 balls here, you want to have one of them to get to the 8. You don't want to leave the 5 to get to the 8. That's too scary because you could end up in here and running into the 8-ball trying to come around the angles to go. I don't like it. I don't like this. I would never be leaving. I just would. Something in my head's telling me don't leave that 5-ball as your last ball for some reason. Commentator's eye. Because now you have to play a shot. You see what I'm talking about? You've got to play a shot here now. And this is what you don't want at this stage in a match. He's running round the rails. He has to come out clean and make sure he's avoiding running into the 8, and he has done. And panic over. Unbelievable finish to this match. Because Bankster basically, well, he did use the tactics as Spud Boy said, soft breaks. Then he caught himself out with a soft break where it was illegal, and unbelievably, he's won the match. Explain that to me. Explain that, Spud Boy. How about that for a result? Unbelievable. Bankster's probably away scratching his head, thinking, "Well, I won it." Acero, I'll tell you right now, go back and watch where Acero went wrong. He freed up that 8-ball. He was going hell for leather. Was that a couple of racks ago? And he should never have freed up the 8-ball. That was a big mistake. And, Acero's tactics were all about getting the job done in those latter racks. But because he was aggressive, everything backfired on him at the end of it. We know that Acero's good enough to find his way out, but when suddenly things don't go quite right, you're against a guy who's, competent enough with a decent table where he will eventually find his way out. And Acero should have had this one. But I think he made the wrong choices in going all-out attack, freeing up a safety net on the 8-ball, which he could have done later on. But you always live and die by your choices, and it could have been the hero and won this comfortably, but he just couldn't finish it off. And Bankster was there at him, and with the opportunities he got, he found his way out at the crucial time. You would never have thought that if you saw this first rack. You would never, ever have came to that conclusion at the end of this first rack tonight, because the first rack that Bankster played was bloody terrible. 4 chances to get out, and then on his final chance, he ends up just hanging the bloody 8-ball over the corner pocket. And you would have shot him down in flames and thought, right, just go home now, because you're not going to be anywhere near winning this match. But there you go. How strange things happen, and I told you, I said it towards the end of the match. The balls will never forgive you if you start taking liberties or you start getting cocky, and it all backfired on Acero. So well done to Bankster. And it should have been Spud Boy's match, but that's all water under the bridge now, Spud. And of course, Spud is pissed off because he never got his match with Bankster. He never got his match, but like I said, if you'd got a hold of me on Tuesday and said, look, I'm having a wee bit of a problem here, then I could get a hold of Steve and something could have been tried to have been sorted out, but it's all done and dusted now. But now what we have to look at is that I think Bankster now plays balls in the next round on that top half of the draw on the one loss side. In the bottom half, we have One Pocket Slim against Coldest Pillow, and that's at 2 p.m. Sunday afternoon. Larry is lying in wait there, and as I mentioned earlier on, we have that match on the schedule for tonight, which is the match with Super Admin against Coldest Pillow at 7 p.m. On Saturday night. That clashes with the snooker, unfortunately, on ITV4. And those are races to 6, these bank pool matches. One Pocket Slim plays acero in his second match tomorrow evening, which will be the bank pool match he'll play with acero. So that is it, folks. Well, an amazing finish to that match. And acero is going to have a sore head thinking about how it all went wrong, but that's how it can go wrong. He was certainly the strong favourite to win it, no doubt about that. But if you start faffing about, you start going all-out attack, things backfire on you. You see how it all ends up. But that's it. So thanks for watching, folks. When anybody asks how did the match go, get them to go and watch it on YouTube. Don't tell them the score. Just get them to go and watch it if they want to be scratching your head at the end of the first rack and then see how it all ended in the final rack. Amazing. So that was enjoyable. I can go and have my dinner now. And we will see you very soon, folks. Take care. I'll bid you good afternoon and thanks for your company. Do hit the like button if you can take a second. It does supposedly help the algorithm for tiny channels like myself. And we'll talk to you again very soon. Take care. See you later.
No bar, no pinball machines, no bowling alleys, just pool. Nothing else.